Hi, my name is Lindsay Wade, and I'm going to be doing my presentation on the first 4 seconds of the Big Bang. About 13.8 billion years ago, it is theorized that the universe started as what we know of as the Big Bang. Our universe started smaller than an atom, and its rapid expansion from that is something that has puzzled scientists since the beginning of its observation. The Big Bang was a process that changed within the matter of an unfathomable short amount of time, going through a variety of phases as the forces and characteristics of our universe were formed. With the first phase of the creation, known as the Planck epoch, it extends from 0 seconds to 10 to the negative 43 power, measured in Planck time. All forces are one fundamental force at this time, meaning strong, weak, electromagnetic, and gravitational forces are all one. This is known as a singularity, an infinite density in gravity. All matter during this time is condensed into a single point of density in extreme heat. This extreme heat and density equals an unstableness, causing the expansion and cooling that we will see. The size of the universe at this time did not even exceed the size of an atom, and this time is also the most unclear and least understood by scientists. Moving on to the Grand Unification epoch, at 10 to the negative 43 power to the 10 to the negative 36 power, there is a cross-transition of temperatures, creating the start of the fundamental forces we know of today. The force of gravitation causing a separation of forces, as it accounts for the unification of strong and weak nuclear forces and electromagnetism. These strong and weak nuclear forces, along with electromagnetic forces being brought together as one, is known as the electronuclear force. Things such as mass, charge, and color are also non-existent at this point. At 10 to the negative 37 power, the universe is believed to start expanding. Temperatures are so high, random motions of particles occur. Pairing and unpairing of particles and antiparticles caused for more matter over antimatter. At 10 to the negative 36 power through 10 to the negative 32 power, temperature of the universe became low enough through another cross-transition of temperatures. Strong forces of electromagnetism and weak nuclear forces were then separated and created a distinct two forces. In the next inflation epoch, as the very first fundamental forces of the universe were created, the inflation epoch begins at 10 to the negative 32 power through the 10 to the negative 24 power. It has been suggested that the universe was filled with high energy density, and this ends when inflation energy begins to decay into ordinary matter and energy. This is where ordinary Big Bang expansion begins. This high temperature and density allowed for the rise of rapid expansion and cooling. Space is now expanding faster than the speed of light. The universe then doubles in size at least 100 times. In the quark epoch, with temperature and density decreasing, so did the energy of each particle until reaching our present form of fundamental physics and elementary particles. The particles created by the Grand Unification epoch are now existing as quark-gluon plasma, distributed thinly across the universe. The quark epoch lasts between 10 to the negative 12 power through 10 to the negative 6 power. The observation of the Higgs field is important during this time, as it is the quantum field throughout all of space, and it communicates with particles and their mass. During this time, it caused electroweak symmetry to break, resulting in electromagnetic force and weak force to behave differently. Quarks, electrons, and neutrinos, along with their antiparticles, all form as the universe cools to below 10 quadrillion degrees. Particles are unable to form before this cooling. Baryogenesis is also another part of the quark epoch. An asymmetry found in the creation of quarks and antiquarks, resulting in more quarks being produced than anti. There is one extra quark produced for every billion quark to antiquark pair. When the quarks and antiquarks make contact, they are then destroyed to produce energy. All of the other surplus quarks go on to form all matter in the universe. In the Hadron epoch, it lasts between the 10 to the negative 6 power through 1 second. The universe now cools to 1 trillion degrees. Quarks combine to make protons and neutrons, also known as hadrons. Electrons can fuse with neutrons to form protons, while also giving off more neutrinos. These neutrinos also combine to form new proton-electron pairs. Space between quarks also expand and begin to move slower during this time. In the lepton epoch, it lasts from 1 second to 3 minutes. Leftover hadrons and antihadrons from the previous epoch destroy each other, leaving primary leptons and antileptons, also known as electrons. Electrons then come into contact with their antiparticle called positrons to create energy in the form of photons. Photons then collide with each other to form positrons and electrons. 10 seconds after the Big Bang, the temperature continues to fall, and lepton and antilepton pairs no longer form with any excess destroyed. This only leaves a small amount behind. In the nucleosynthesis phase, temperature falls to 1 billion degrees. Atomic nuclei begin to form through the combination of protons and neutrons in nuclear fusion, creating the nuclei of hydrogen, helium, and lithium. After 20 minutes, density and temperature fall so low where nuclear fusion can no longer continue. As I've gone through the first 3 minutes of formation, this formation continues for long after. After nucleosynthesis, the formation of the universe expands for another 240,000 years within the photon epoch, and another 240,000 to 380,000 within the recombination and decoupling, and furthermore 380,000 to 150 million years within the dark ages, 150 million to 1 billion years within reionization, 300 to 500 million years within the star and galaxy formation period, 8.5 to 9 billion years within the solar system formation, and finally to 3.8 billion years, landing us on our present days here in the universe. Even though the Big Bang is still misunderstood, especially at its earliest part, what we do know allows us to understand how the universe may have come to be. It is an important part of understanding how the universe works in terms of things like differing forces, elements, and particles. Without this knowledge, we would not have anywhere near the understanding of science and space that we have today as it relates to everything we do and study. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and here are my citations.